Hey, what's up YouTube? It's the Amateur Angler channel here. Just want to go over some fall bass fishing tips and lures that it's been very successful for me, as you probably follow a ton of fishing channels as I do, and you've probably seen. But these are my personal favorites that I fish during the fall season. First thing I want to kind of go over right here is it's like crankbaits. So this is not your typical crankbait. This is what's called a mirror dime, and it's actually a saltwater fishing lure. But I've had tremendous success with this recently. It's got the red eyes, has rattles, and it suspends actually. This actually suspends in about 15 to 18 inches of water. So your depth that you're going to be targeting is around 2 feet. And you know, the fish are in shallow, the water temps are dropping, and this has been absolutely a great lure lately. Just been really hitting it up. It reacts like a not spinnerbait, but it reacts like a crankbait. It wiggles in the water, it rattles, and you know, when you stop it, it doesn't just float to the top or drop to the bottom. It kind of just hangs there like a fish just sitting. So it's very good lure. Again, it's in your saltwater section, but it'll work very well in freshwater. My next is spinnerbaits. Okay, so I got a couple different kinds of spinnerbaits here. This is I think Strike King KVD, and this is just your regular beetle spin. Your beetle spin and your I just consider them both spinnerbaits. They both have the little spinner on them. Sorry. Something you want to think about when you're throwing your spinnerbaits is maybe adding a little trailer to it. It just punches it up a notch. Basically, any kind of spinning bait I've been throwing for the last year and a half, 2 years, has been had a trailer on it. So it's a tip that I learned on one YouTube channel. I can't remember which one, but you know, they started throwing trailers on it, and I actually started getting bigger fish. So something to think about. Your spinner baits, again, very versatile bait. You can reel it slow, you can reel it fast, you can reel it, drop it, reel it, drop it. It is very versatile, especially in the fall. These are there to mimic the bait fish that's already in the water that they're going after. So something to think about. You know, sometimes maybe the bigger fish are there, sometimes they may not be. So if you're throwing something that's a little bigger like this, now granted, I know that your average bass is going to go after this, but if you're not having success with something bigger, try throwing something like a beetle spin. Beetle spins work great. I've used them all my life. This is one of actually my favorite lures of all time. I had a lot of success growing up with this. It's something my dad introduced to me, and it's actually one of his favorite baits. So something to think about. Beetle spins, spinner baits, very popular in the fall, very good lures. My next is my all-time favorite lure. Maybe not the most success, but I just absolutely just love this lure, and it's a buzzbait. And as I was telling you earlier, this is kind of a spinning type bait. You know, you got your buzz or whatever, your blades. It's got, you can see right here that it's got a trailer on it, a twin shell white trailer. Now this is just your regular average Walmart trailer. I think I paid like $1 for 10 of them, and I've been throwing it on this buzz bait and other baits since, you know, I learned that little trick a couple years ago. This is just your Terminator buzz bait. Any of your favorite buzz baits work. Running them around the shallow. That I'd never hardly ever throw these deep. So you're running around the bank. The fish are already, the bait fish and the big fish are already at the bank. The water temps have dropped, so you don't want to stop throwing a buzz bait just because it's fall. And a lot of people think this is a springtime summer bait, but it works great in the fall. I throw this year-round, no matter what. I don't care if the water's 40 degrees. I'm throwing a buzz bait at some point in that day. If nothing else working, they will hit this. And the last thing is a jig. Now I don't have a jig out here with me. I just grabbed my mystery tackle box yesterday. I did a video, so you can check that out on my channel. But because everybody has their different types of jigs. There's some people make their own jigs. You have a million different types of jigs. You have your casting jig, your punching jig, your flipping jigs. You have a bunch of different types of jigs, and whatever works in your area works. But I do want to talk about the fall type stuff. Is you want like something like a crawdad. So this is a lunker hunt. I got this yesterday in my mystery tackle box. I can't tell you what I've had success-wise because I haven't been able to throw it. But this is just informational. Throwing crawdads at fall is very, very great time to throw your crawdads. Bright colors and dark water, or something with a lot of flake. But again, you want it to kind of mimic or look like your jig. You want it to, the colors to match your jig. Again, punch jigs, whatever. I don't have a lot of punch jigs. I have a lot of casting jigs because I typically throw them and let them sink, and then I drag them on the bottom. I drag them on the bottom to make that noise like a crawdad would be crawling across the bottom of the shore or the bank, making all that disturbance. Here's another one. This is called the Ugly Otter. Gambler makes it. I got it again yesterday in my mystery tackle box. I really like the design of this. Again, kind of mimicking that crawdad like. Actually, this tail, you can tell, I don't know if you can see it, but it has a little split in it, and you can cut that up. Same with this one. It's actually designed to be pulled apart so you can work, you know, it can be like this, or you can pull it apart and work it that way. And the last one, this is a Biospawn. This is their Vile Crawl. It is an amazing, amazing lure to have in your box. These soft plastics have done amazing things for me this summer and now into the fall. So if you haven't checked out Biospawn, you really should give their Vile Crawl. It's the only one I have by them, but you really should give them a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you go to throw these in, you know, wherever you go fish, your local fishing hole. Anyways, that's my top 4 baits for me in the fall. You know, I start putting other stuff away. Doesn't mean that stuff doesn't work. I still throw frogs. I still throw hula poppers. I throw stuff that I throw all year round. But for me, soft plastics on jigs, any kind of jig you're going to do, or soft plastic, you could hook one of these up and just kind of throw it on the bottom, or any of these, and just throw yourself a regular hook in there and just throw it on the bottom and see what happens. Just like any other soft plastic, you can work it any way you want. But you know, jig, punch jig, flipping jig, casting jig, whatever, throw something out there. And if you like this video, like it, comment, subscribe to my channel. Thanks.